Hi guys. Okay, so now we are going to go ahead and work on the next assignment. So we're still going from given. It starts with grams, and your unknown is also going to be grams. Okay, so let's start with our gummer. GU molar mass. Now there's going to be two molar masses, okay? And then there's going to be mole ratio, okay? So, so let's go ahead and get started. Now keep in mind that your mole ratio is going to be unknown over given, and the number is based on the equation, okay? So now let's start with our given. Okay, so we're going to start by reading it. Determine the mass of calcium hydroxide. So the good thing is that they wrote the calcium, the formula in here next to it. So it would be this one right here. Okay. Produced when the calcium, and it says carbide. So that's carbon right there. Okay. Reacts with 0.64 grams of water. However, kind of tricky. Okay. So they're not really, they're just talking about how they have water. They don't have anything on calcium carbide. It's just explaining how this is produced. So in here, we would have to start with our given is going to be actually of water. That 0.64 grams is of water. So this is your water. Okay, so your given, again, is the number that they give you, is 0.64 grams, and it's going to be H2O. Okay, and then your unknown is going to be determine the mass of calcium hydroxide. So that will be grams, mass is grams, so it would be grams, and then calcium hydroxide, and it's 2. Okay, now let's look at the molar mass. The molar mass is going to be based on whoever in your given and unknown has grams. So if you look at both of them, they both have grams. So you have to get the molar mass of each one. So H2O, the grams of H2O would be, let's start by looking at the periodic table. So hydrogen is 1.008. So it would be, that's two of them. So 2 times 1.008. And then it plus 1 oxygen. That's 1. So oxygen is 15.999. So if we calculate this, it will be 2 times 1.008 equals, and then plus 15.9999 equals 18.015. Okay. And then we have to do the grams of calcium hydroxide. Okay. So this one's a little different because if you look at the parentheses, that too basically says that there's 2 oxygens and 2 hydrogens. Now there's only 1 calcium. So let's go ahead, and calcium will be 40.078, and then plus, and then you're going to have to, let's do oxygen first. So it would be 2 times 15.999, and then plus 2 hydrogens. So it would be 2 times 1.008. Okay, so let's go ahead and calculate that. So it would be 40.078 plus, and then parenthesis 2 times 15.999, close it, and then plus 2 times 1.008, close it, and that will be 74.092 grams. So again, this is grams of calcium hydroxide, this is grams of water. Okay, now let's go ahead and go to a mole ratio. Now keep in mind mole ratio, again, it's mole over mole. Okay, your unknown is calcium hydroxide. So it'll be your calcium hydroxide. And then your given is going to be water. So again, we're just looking at, when we're looking at unknown and given, we're looking at the compounds or elements. But these two are compounds. So now the number, we get it from the equation. So calcium hydroxide, if you look at it from the equation, it only has a 1. So it'd be 1 mole. And then H2O would be the 2 moles. Okay, so we are ready. We already set up. We already need all this information. We're going to go ahead and put it in here. Okay, so it would be 1, 2, 3, and then 4. Okay, so we always start with our given. So it would be 0.64 grams of H2O. Keep in mind there's nothing here. Usually it's or you can put a 1. There's nothing there, but you could put a 1. Okay, so here, if you see this is grams of H2O. So that bottom part is grams of H2O. Now keep in mind that H2O is your given. Okay, and so you're trying to get the grams of H2O. That means you're going to get the molar mass of the given. So on the bottom would be your molar mass of the given. So that means it's grams of H2O, which is 18.015. Okay, and then if you look up here, that equals molar mass equals 1 mole of H2O. We're still in H2O. Okay, so we're done with that. And now we have mole of H2O. So we need to have mole of H2O. You see that? So the only one that has on the bottom mole of H2O will be this one, is your mole ratio. And if you look up here, that's what's next. Okay, in the third column would be your mole ratio. So all you have to do is really 1/2. That's all you need to do is write your mole ratio over here. So it's 1/2. But this one's mole of calcium hydroxide. Okay, these cancel. And you see how I just wrote this? Like this to here. Okay, and here, mole ratio is when you convert from one compound to another compound. Okay, so now we are moles of calcium hydroxide. So it would be moles of calcium hydroxide. Okay, and that is basically 1 mole, right? Because that's your unknown. Okay, and then here will be the molar mass of calcium hydroxide. So the molar mass of calcium hydroxide would be the 74.092 grams of calcium hydroxide. Okay, this cancels. And now you're ready to multiply. You are ready. You're done with this. You already did your given. You already did this molar mass, and you already did your mole ratio. Okay, so all you need is to solve it. Now, keep in mind that you multiply. You multiply this 4, and you should, let me go ahead and show you. 0.64 times 1 times 1 times 74.092. Oops, I put a negative. 0.64 times 1 times 1 times 74.092 equals 47.4188. Now you can round it. It's fine. Like you could put 47.42. Why? Because it's more than 5 here after the 1. Okay, you could do that. It's up to you. And then the bottom one is 18.015 times 2 times 1 equals 36.03. Okay, so now you divide 47.4188 divided by 36.13. That is equal to 1.3 grams of calcium hydroxide. Okay, so that's basically it, you guys. That is your answer for number five.